Now we've defined the characteristics of Aristotelian friendship, and we've also looked at the differences and likenesses between the good and the beautiful, that which is agathon and that which is kalon in Plato. How does this spell out in Aristotle? Well, in his general theory of goodness, he says that those things that are good generally are of three different types, the kinds of things that you can choose when it comes to the classes of things that are choice-worthy one way or another. They are either kalon, that is noble or beautiful, or they are pleasant, or they are useful. So in Aristotle's general theory of what it means that something is choice-worthy or good generally, there is a clear place for kalon. Now, to Aristotle here, kalon means most of the time, I think, mainly something like noble. An action will have this quality of being noble or great, but also sort of good-looking, seeming good as well as being good. That's part of the idea of kalon. So what's so intriguing then is that when we move to Aristotle's analysis of friendship, the kalon, in a way, seems to disappear. Because, of course, in his theory of friendship, kalon is not one of the objects. As we've already uncovered, the objects are three. You have the good in terms of virtue in the other person, and then you have the useful, and then you have the pleasant. So the idea of that which is kalon has mysteriously disappeared, it seems. But I think it hasn't really disappeared. It has moved one step to the side, because the friend is seen as good, as agathon, whereas the acts that you perform, the friend performs, and that you perform together, they, of course, can be kalon. But this also tells us that Aristotle's view of friendship is not such that the erotic relationships that we see portrayed and analyzed in Plato are central. It rather seems to us that in Aristotle, the kalon is rather moved into, when we're thinking of it as a sort of object of eroticism, in Aristotle that's moved into the friendship of pleasure. So he mentions that erotic relations belong down there with the friendships of pleasure. So we see here really I think a fairly clear difference between Plato and Aristotle. Another clear difference between Plato and Aristotle, if we return to the Lysis once more, Plato's dialogue Lysis, you remember there that a very central part of the analysis built on need, on somehow usefulness, and on lack, so that what you love seems to be what you lack, which you then have to sort of get hold of because of this lack. Now, in Aristotle, he's both quite clear that it's not really simply your good that's at stake. In the full friendship, it is the friend's own good, and it's things done for the friend's own sake. That is a main issue. And also, and this is, I think, quite important, he makes a point out of how the motivation in the full form of friendship and the activities that you perform, they are not, I mean, the idea of the basis of your friendship there is not based on lack. On the contrary, his whole analysis seems to build on the idea that the better you are, so that, ethically, the less you lack, the better a friend will you be, and the better friends will it be suitable or possible for you to have, in the full sense of living with them and really getting along with them. So we can see here then, in Aristotle's analysis, that he indirectly seems to reply to at least these two main conundrums from all the questions that popped up in the course of the lysis.